What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Unfortunately, we're still rocking the Malibu, but not for long, because Thursday the DCT came in for the C8, and then over the weekend all the necessary hardware to get that installed came in. We're heading over to the dealership now to go ahead and film the removal of the DCT, and I don't know if we have enough time to install the DCT, but worst comes to worst, we'll film that tomorrow. Also, the check cleared for the C5 Z06. I don't know if I'm gonna make it there tonight to go pick that up, but worst comes to worst, tomorrow morning we'll go pick that up. All right, guys, we're here over at Chevy now. Got the C8 up on the lift. Look what we got over here. This is our new DCT. So in pictures, this thing did not look too big, but I think it's massive. To kind of give you guys a reference, this is the 8-speed automatic transmission, and then you guys can see the size of my hand and the transmission. It's big, but it's not that big. This bad boy over here, look at this thing. So the reason why this thing is so big is because you have the diff and the tranny all in one piece. It's one big package now. Whereas before, this is a C5 right here. So before you had your transmission right here, then you had your diff here. So you had two big separate pieces. Now it's just one massive hunk of metal. Got a C7 Z06 on the rack over here. Again, transmission and diff, two separate pieces. All right, guys, so we got the C8 up on the rack. Here's the transmission that was leaking. They believe it was coming out of this cove right there, but he's got it all cleaned up now. He said he had to put it up there, run it for about 20 minutes, and then he started seeing it leak. We don't know if the leak's coming out of the crack in like the casing, or if it's coming out of a bolt or a gasket or something like that. It's kind of hard to tell. Once we get it dropped down, we'll be able to see where the leak's actually coming from. This is that cove that we were just talking about. So it could be a crack in the casing, it could be leaking out of like a bolt hole or something like that, we're not sure. And then over here, we've got our shock. GM sent us a new shock. So now we can go ahead and fix this leaky one. We gotta pull the shock tower out, get all the components off of it, and then rebuild the new one, and then get it slapped up in here. I always love coming here because you always have so many cool cars. In my other video, I mentioned like I would love to get an older Corvette like this, and then now seeing the hood popped open, you can kind of see everything's really accessible. This doesn't really look too intimidating to work on. Like headers, boom, right there. Driver side, boom, so easily accessible. Now maybe to pull the motor would be a pain because that nose is so long. You might have to come into the side, I guess. He's got a C6 Z06 in here. I would have loved to get one of these for the channel, but they're still a little pricey, so we went with the C5. Tomorrow we're picking that C5 up, guys. I cannot wait. You know, one of the things, when we went to go test drive that C5 Z06, we didn't even check the headlights, that they pop up or not. We have pop-up headlights now. I don't know why, but like, you know, the manual key, the pop-up headlights, you know, all the new cars don't have that, but it's so cool to like go back and experience those things again. So we're gonna get started now. We've got the under panels all taken off here. And now we're going to go ahead and remove our mud flaps, our inner fenders. We're at the front of the car now. We gotta pull the inner fender liner out so we can drain the coolant out of the motor. The inner fender liner is out. This is a pretty cool sight. So without that inner fender liner, you can see straight through. That's so cool. All right, guys, so we just pulled this panel off of the front here. And then this gave us even more access to this drain. So we're gonna drain the coolant out of the motor. All right, so we are draining the coolant. It's gonna be a little while though. It doesn't look like it's coming out that fast. All right, so we popped the top off the coolant reservoir there. And now she's flowing. I know you guys got to see this last time when we were doing the 2 gallons or 2 quarts of DCT fluid, but it looks like he's already got the air box out, and he says that the transmission unbolts from the engine, so the engine stays in the car when we drop this whole thing down. So that's gonna be pretty interesting to see how that works, because there's a lot of bolts in there that I don't know how we're gonna get to. But we are replacing this unit right here with that unit right there. All right, so we're draining all this out because the motor and tranny share the same coolant. Up here's where the coolant goes into the tranny. We want to go get it all out so it doesn't make a big mess right here. All right, so we got the driver's side rear inner fender taken out. You can see the inner workings of this. It's straight through to the engine bay. Whenever you guys shut off your C8 and you guys hear a fan going, this is that fan that's just constantly running when you shut it off for about, I don't know, 10-15 seconds. So we got the rear bumper off now. A lot easier to access all this area without that massive high wing sitting here. Check out the throttle body, guys. It's partially open. That's pretty interesting. Man, I really wish I could have got an exhaust system, because I think we had to pull the muffler and everything out when we dropped the tranny. Would have been a perfect time to put a new exhaust system in there, but oh well. All right, guys, so we got the exhaust system pulled out. Wasn't too bad. You got a couple bolts connected to the cats, and then you got a couple electrical connectors on each side. Got one here, one here, one here, one there. These valves are for the 4-cylinder mode. Then those valves are for when you go into track to open it up. It wasn't too heavy. It's definitely a two-man job. I'd say, I don't know, 50, 60 pounds. Maybe heavier, I don't know. Here's a closer look at that valve. It's pretty interesting. This thing, I guess, just turns and then turns something in there that just opens and closes this valve, I guess. This one's kind of harder to see because it's all like internal, it looks like. But now we got the rear end all opened up. See the transmission a little easier with the diff. That's where the exhaust hooked up to the cats. All right, so now we're loosening up all the brake lines. So we got rubber lines here. Got some metal lines that come through here. Just getting everything loosened up. Check this out, you got your alternator up under here. You got your starter in there. So crazy to see all the stuff in the back of the car. There's this metal tube that goes across the entire car. I'm thinking you got like maybe saddlebags for gas tanks on each side. All right guys, so I think we got to a stopping point today. We got a lot of the stuff taken off. We can finally see the DCT. We can kind of figure out how we're gonna get it out. So I'm gonna try to do these like daily, just as we're going. Go ahead and put a new vlog up just to show you guys the progress. I'm sure this is gonna take about maybe 3 or 4 days. Tomorrow morning, before we head down here, we're gonna go and pick up the Z06. I almost forgot, a couple of you guys asked for a little more footage of when we were in the mountains. I had a little downtime while the C8 was in the shop, so I went ahead and put together a little video, so I hope you guys enjoy.